Hi, I'm Dr. Cindy Scholes, and today I want to talk to you about self-compassion. Self-compassion is a concept that I teach in my classes and also in my private sessions and in my workshops, but it's not always an easy concept to understand. Really, what self-compassion means is just being kind to yourself like you would be to a dear friend. And that sounds good in theory, but then how do you do that? I mean, you may be like me, that if you do something that you shouldn't, or if you don't do something that you think you should do, then rather than being kind to yourself or self-compassion, you think the best way is to motivate yourself by beating yourself up, punishing yourself in some way. Usually just a self-flogging is what I do, is self-criticism. And what we have learned from research is that self-criticism actually doesn't work to motivate you. In fact, it does the opposite. If you're trying to create change in your life, if you're trying to take on a new habit or a new way of being, it turns out that if you criticize yourself when you don't manage to do it the way you think you should, then instead of motivating you to do better, you actually do the opposite. You take your conscious mind, that prefrontal cortex that does your executive function and makes the decisions, you take that part of your mind offline and you fall into old habits and old comfort patterns that are probably what you're trying to change in the first place. So self-criticism is not the way to go. And so instead, if you do something you think you shouldn't, or if you don't do something the way that you think you should, then really what there is to do is practice self-kindness. Well, how do you do that? Well, today I'm going to teach you a very simple technique that I learned recently that can really shift you out of that old pattern of self-criticism into a more effective pattern of love and kindness with yourself. And all you do is, if you do something you don't like, or if you make some kind of mistake, you just put your left hand on your heart and you say, I love myself. And then you put your right hand on top of that and you say, I forgive myself. And feel that sense of love and forgiveness just as if you were a young child or a dear friend that you care about. And it shifts that self-criticism pattern that you might have out of the way and puts you in a better mood state. So it'll keep your good mood longer and it'll motivate you to create the change you're looking for more effectively.